Well, today we've got to erase our first customer name off the wall. And that also means we have to put that up one number, which we don't want to go up. We want to go down, because for every 100 cars we sell here at the car store, we donate a car to someone in need. And this is our wall, as you guys know. And every time you buy a car here, you get assigned the Wall of Fame. And one of these names bought a car 2 days ago, and we're going to have to erase it because they're bringing the car back. Any dealership across the country is going to bring in some really sketchy vehicles on trade, and how we dispose of those vehicles is up to us. Now, I don't want to sell bad vehicles, but there is a market for every single vehicle on the market. Regardless of what your opinion or my opinion is of it, there's a market for it. We traded for a 2010 Chevy Equinox, and in great condition, this car would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $9,000 to $10,000 on the retail market. I said in great condition. This Equinox had just barely over 100,000 miles, and the market currently right now is about 150,000. So this thing's got 45,000 fewer miles than the rest of the cars on the market. It's all sounding great, right? But wait till I show you this car. It's not a great car, and I sold it representing it that it was not a great car. So I'm here early on a Saturday. The customer should be here any minute now to return the car, and I'm going to refund her money 100%. And this all stems from nothing from us not disclosing something, trying to hide something, trying to dupe something to the customer. This all stems from buyer remorse. There is no return policy unless it is a company policy in the car business. I have a no return car policy. You can't buy a car from me and decide, oh, you know what? I made a bad decision. I have a change of heart. I have buyer's remorse. I hopped on my right foot today and decided I don't want this car anymore and return it to you. It doesn't happen here. And I've never worked for a dealership in 23 years that does have a return policy. And as a small business and a small dealership, I don't want to sell a car to someone, let them think about it, and then return it, because that hurts us. And it takes a lot of people out of the market when we have to tell them, oh, sorry, we sold that car. Because traditionally speaking, as soon as we sell a car, we get a ton of leads on it. So if I've told those people like, hey, we sold that car, they've checked that off their list and they're moving on to the next unit. And for me to sell that just makes it a little bit harder. And sadly, there are scams out there. Imagine if I had a truck in stock and someone needed to haul a load of gravel this weekend. They come in, they purchase it, and on Monday they're like, I don't like the truck, I'm gonna bring it back. You might be thinking, you're crazy, Mike, that doesn't happen. It does happen. Carvana, CarMax have had that happen, and I've had people make comments on this channel to say they've done that. So the customer has brought the vehicle back. She's come and gone. We're done with the car deal with there. I gave her money back in the form of a check, and this is the vehicle right here. And like I said in the listing, and I'm gonna say to you guys, this is not a nice condition car. This is something very, very cheap. Look, we have mismatched painted. We have bad road rash there. The headlights are not looking nice. They need to be refinished. Different color paint here. So this car's been painted. We have more damage right here, right? So there's damage there. There was a trailer hitch, and if you go watch my TikTok, you'll see how I got that out. That was not coming out at all. And you can see that that's hard to open, right? So we have not cleaned this car in any way, shape, or form. We were going to leave it just the way it is because we didn't know what we were going to do with this. If we're going to take it to auction, if we're going to offer it for sale, whatnot. So let's start here. We got some rust there. We open this door. Voila, we have rust. We have rust. We have rust. Back here, we have rust. We have rust. We have rust. We have penetrating rust. It is eating away at the rocker panel. We have rust back here. We have rust in there. We have rust up here. We have fully disclosed this in our listing, and we made sure that the customer knew that there was rust on the vehicle. You think this is bad? Just wait. Let me show you. Under the hood, we have what looks like to be a rust inhibitor, right? So like Z-bar, you see it's down here. The customer took this to a dealership, a Chevy dealership, and they said it looked like it had been on fire. Okay, as a former firefighter, I know this car has not been on fire, and I couldn't convince the customer otherwise. And this is coming from a Chevy dealership. I mean, how stupid do you have to be? Because obviously if we had any fire up here, we would have plastic melting. We would have melting up here. We would have melting here. Everything would be melted. Everything under this car is plastic and would melt. If this right here was something to do with the fire, all of this stuff around here would be melted. This is what is a rust proofing underneath that they put in a car that they probably should have put in the rockers over there. Let's go to the fun stuff. This is the passenger side. We can see the rockers down there. We can see the door right there. Back here, oh my God, look at all of that rust right there. Absolutely horrific, bad, and horrible, horrible shape. And if you think that is bad, hold on a second. Let me pull this into the shop here. We'll get it lifted up and I will show you just a little bit more. So you guys know me. I am fully transparent everything I do. And this is the passenger side rear quarter panel that I showed you last outside. This thing is hollowed out. Absolutely insane hollowed out. It's very similar on the driver's side. I think this is worse over here, which is I'm showing you this. But look at the frame. The frame is fine, okay? Now, concern that I had on the frame is this area right here is dented up from probably an improper jacking from whatever case may be. Look at the frame. You can see everything under here is not too crazy bad, right? So this was what I looked at, and this is why I decided to sell it. I know there's gonna be a lot of opinions out there. I get it, trust me, I get it. I do not want to sell these type of cars, and I definitely don't want my name associated with these type of cars, but this is what the undercarriage looks like. So much that I don't want my name associated with this that I left the old dealerships thing on here, and I didn't realize Grant put one of our license plate brackets on it, but we have to do that anyways because the temp tags would all go crazy. But I didn't even put my dealership name on it because I don't want to be associated with this type of vehicle. However, in today's market, it's absolutely insane. This car starts, stops, shifts, drives, AC blows cold, it goes in reverse. It's good, reliable transportation. And in this market, if we can find at least something that drives for under $5,000, you're doing good. And like, I'm not doing anything goofy here, right? I'm not painting the stuff to make it not noticeable. I'm being fully transparent in everything that I do. When I sat the customer down right in this seat while Grant was out getting the car filled with gas, they signed 2 forms that says important, sold as is. We didn't inspect it. We encourage that you have it inspected. There's no warranties or guarantees. I made, with the help of ChatGPT, which is an amazing thing, I told it that I wanted a disclaimer wrote against this car that, hey, it's got heavy rust. And you can see it right there that we are selling this car. It is not to be liable of any issues or anything, and it's got major rust written right there. Now, I covered up the customer's name, but on this particular form, I made the customer write the date, write her name, and sign her name. Obviously, Grant had a conversation with her on the lot. I had a conversation with her in here verbally, but you can't back up verbal claims with the exception of our lovely camera that's always recording up there, that's video and audio. But I want to make sure that customer understands what they're buying. I don't want to run into situations like this. This is not good because when she left here, she wrote an amazing review that I'll put on the screen here. And of course, she takes it to this Chevy dealership that I mentioned earlier in the video, and they put the fear of God in her, and she doesn't know any better. So now she takes that review down and writes this 1-star review that hurts our reputation. And we had nothing to do in this to have our reputation hurt. We were fully transparent. We were fully disclosed on this. Again, like I said earlier, it's not like we took white spray paint and painted over the rust to try to hide it. We're leaving it exactly the way it's set. And if we decide to sell this again, and now we have yet another larger paragraph of a legal disclaimer for the sale of the vehicle. We put on here that the buyer acknowledges that the person's vehicle in current condition is as is, whereas. We put down here that we do not have a return policy. The buyer acknowledged that they have thoroughly inspected the vehicle and have an opportunity to ask any questions that may be regarding the vehicle's condition and history before making the purchase. We put up here, the vehicle has heavy rust throughout and buyer is aware of the major issue. So now the 2 things that I don't want to ever do in this business ever again is have to hit this number to go up, because now we have 88 more cars to sell before we give away our next car. We have to erase her name. She wrote to #boss and then bought on 420, haha, yes baby. I think maybe she was already partaking in the 420. before she came and bought this, because I think she made a bad decision and had buyer's remorse. And she, you know who she takes it out on? Takes it out on the big guy. She can't take responsibility for herself. I don't want to deal with crap, so we're just gonna erase her name, and she won't be a part of our business anymore. And we have a good story to tell you guys, and just like that, she's erased.